Ah, the beauty and grace of the Essex countryside. Nothing can spoil this. But something can enhance it. This is the Ford S-Max. Perhaps it's the next big step from the Ford Galaxy, the core of 7-seater driving. But come on, 7-seaters are boring, they're dull. They're only there to fulfill a purpose. They're not interesting. But this thing really is pleasant to drive. Put the foot down for a bit. Ooh! That does not feel like a 7-seater. I wasn't prepared for that. I thought, oh, this might go somewhere. We can go anywhere with this. And it definitely helps that with that Star Trek Voyager launch handbrake. Oh, this feels very space age. I have a feeling that when they designed the S-Max, the design team might have been staying up all night watching Thunderbirds, Stingray, Captain Scarlet, Joe 90, trying to get some very cool gadgets, boyish childhood gadgets, into a 7-seater. See, ever since I became a husband and a father, I've had to deviate away from the cars that I want into the cars that I need, or we need, I should more rightly say. Which means I've had to give up, for now at least, on my dreams of a Volkswagen Beetle. I can start thinking about a proper 7-seater. And this... This does not feel like a 7-seater, but I'm very aware of the fact that it is. This feels so much better. In my time owning MPVs, I found that a first impression makes all the difference. You see, the thing about a good 7-seater is that it has to be one thing above all else. Functional. We will get you to where you want to go in the time you want to get there. Don't worry, don't fret. This, it's like, come on, wake up. Oh, I love it. I love it already. Country lanes. This thing is just such a beast. Of course, you could argue that Ford are already the world champion of 7-seater building. I mean, if I was making this program 20 years ago, I'd be banging on about the same thing you've heard time and time again. Galaxy, 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 always. Or a derivative of. If you really don't want the Ford badge, you could always put a Seat badge on it and call it an Alhambra. But this is an evolutionary step. No, it's a revolutionary step for the 7-seater. This is very different. The Galaxy has always felt like a Galaxy. This does feel like a Focus. It's a 7-seater, for goodness sake. And yet I am driving it the same way I would drive a Focus. As a man who needs to own a 7-seater, I now have 3 viable choices. The Vauxhall Zafira, aka Muesli, the Mazda 5, all brand, or now the Ford S-Max. Yes! Oh, this thing is so much fun. I have never said that about a 7-seater before. A 7-seater is a good car. It's a reasonable car. It's a car to do what you need it to do. It's definitely not a fun car. It's a necessity if you have that kind of lifestyle. But you certainly wouldn't put it into the fun category. This you genuinely can. But this does have something other 7-seaters just can't compare with. 197 brake horsepower and a top speed of 133 miles an hour. Are you joking? This is a 7-seater and it does 133 miles an hour. Take my money! Just take my money now! Yet another important factor, not only are these seats in the back here easy to adjust, they're also incredibly comfortable. And I've got miles of legroom. Or cubic capacity to store the Christmas presents. Or a bed. This is just brilliant for everything. What a workhorse. What a workhorse. Now, of course, being a 7-seater, practicality has to be the most important factor. So, how easy is it to adjust these seats? Okay, so I can move them forward, no problem at all. Slide them to whatever position I need them to be. Adjusting the lever. Yes. How much space have I actually got? That's amazing. That is a very, very big positive in the S-Max's direction. Good one, Ford, good one. Now, it's all very well to say that this is a good 7-seater, but how easy is it to transform it from a 7-seater for the entire family into something you can store pretty much anything into? Well, observe. Not to brag or anything, folks, but this only took me 4 minutes and 12 seconds. And I didn't even look at the manual. Yeah, boy. So once you know how to do it, it is possible to get all 5 seats down and completely flat. And here's the best bit. There is enough room to lie down in it. This might be my favourite 7-seater of all time now. Of course, you could put your sensible trousers on and go for the EcoBoost version, but I promise you, the Titanium X Petrol edition is much more fun. This car is a masterpiece. 7-seaters are not supposed to be fun. They're supposed to do what you ask them to do. But you could take your dog for a walk, and they can burn off some energy. Then on the way home, you can burn off some energy. I need to buy this car. And then I need to buy myself a dog. Any excuse to take it out for a drive. I'm a big fan of cars that make me feel relaxed, make me feel pleasant. You know, you can tell very quickly if a car is going to make you feel miserable when you're in it. This just doesn't. This just doesn't. I'm genuinely feeling with this car that Ford have cracked open the DNA of the Galaxy and the Focus, fused them together in some weird domestic accident, like a Focus and Galaxy crossbreed. Some kind of dodgy experiment like something from The Fly. But it was worth it. It was really, really worth it. Here we go, foot down. Yes! I can't believe I'm doing this in a 7-seater! Yay! Oh, wow! Whoever thought you could have this much fun in a 7-seater? That is not scientifically possible. Wow! Me like, me want. This is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, this car. When you want to be sensible, it will let you be. But then... Oh, I am so in love with this car. Yes, yes, yes. 1,000 times yes to this car. I think this is the car equivalent of Jenson Button. What I mean by that is we all know that Jenson Button is a great racing driver. He's a brilliant racing driver. But then it turns out he's also really, really funny on camera. Then it turns out he's actually really knowledgeable about the sport as an aficionado, so he could be a panelist. Then you find out he's an incredible triathlete, and he'll probably do that now that he's retired from Formula One. And then you find out that he's actually very well educated. This car can do everything. I think this is now officially the very best 7-seater I have ever driven, full stop. I never want to get out. I never want to get out, 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 never want to get out. Dads, husbands, workaholics, wherever you are, pay attention, because this might just be the best tool you ever buy yourself. Ever.